Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. 2013 Chevrolet Cruze engine is coming out. Okay, so disclaimer, straight up, if you have no mechanical ability, find another channel to do it. Because this will not, I'm not going to point at every little clip and screw and bolt that has to be removed. I will, in the process of the video, I will tell you what I'm doing. I'm not going to tell you how I'm doing it. So this is going to be a quick video. I don't have time. This takes quite a time, or it takes quite some time to do this, so I don't have the time to stand here and detail that out for 18 hours worth of video. Can't do it. Sorry, guys. So anyway, here we go. Take off wheels. Take off plastic underneath. 8 screws. I think, yep, 8 screws. That disables that. Pitcock over here on the side for the radiator to go ahead and drain it, so you need a bucket if you want to save it. That deck school here hasn't been in there very long. I'm going to save mine. Nothing wrong with that. Oil needs to come out of this vehicle. That'd be the next thing. 13mm on the exhaust studs. Alright, quick rundown. Like I said, exhaust. One motor mount. Let me start off on that one. One motor mount, 2 motor mount. Well, I'm pulling the whole unit, so in my case, I have to pull the drive shafts. That means you have to bust your bolts loose. You have to bust loose your steering rods. Of course, the center nut for the half shafts right there. You have to take these off if you got that capability. If you're going the other way, you'll have to split everything. Then you have to fully take the exhaust out of it and all that good stuff. I'm not going into that. Like I said, it's based on a starter removal. Anyway, long story short, some wires down here, like your O2 sensor, the starter motor, knock sensor, all of the wires, alternator, all of that's going to be undone, unclipped. So, like I said, I'm not going to film all that. If you have no idea on how to get that part done, you know, this is not going to be a good channel for you. All right, recap. I take the CV axles out. I do that first. You are going to want to drain the oil out of the transmission. You're going to want to do that anyway. So with the axles out of the way, a lot of this, much easier. I normally unbolt the knock sensor. I just go ahead and unbolt it, let it hang, take your 13mm nuts off of the starter and the alternator, take your little wire off, 10mm. That gets all this. Take the oxygen sensor, unplug the oxygen sensor, take it out of the bracket right there. Sorry. Let's see. Go over here. I'll take this transmission line. Now that the axle is out of the way, take this transmission line loose. That one right there, hopefully you can see that. So there you go. Those are the next couple of steps. As I mentioned, I undid the motor mounts. All of that stuff is done. So I'm probably forgetting something, but I don't think there's anything else left to do. I'll pause the camera back up and continue on trucking. Unplug the radiator hose, moving on to the front here. AC compressor. Undo those. They're going to be hard to get from the top. So let's do those. Alright, so we had to take a couple of steps back on this car. So this is way later. No, actually Truth to be known, sorry about that. I've been sick, and I did have other things to do, so I'm gonna try to pick back up where we left off. I think, probably wrong, I think everything underneath is done, and I think I got everything on camera. I hope so, because I'm not backtracking. I'm gonna go to the top and start pulling stuff apart. So, myself, I will be taking the hood off. Okay? I like to take the hood off when I do things. To me, it's not a big deal. You know, some people have a problem with aligning them back up. I don't have that problem. So I'm gonna be yanking the hood off. That's what I'm gonna do right next thing now, is take the whole hood off of it. That gives me more light. I don't have to fight this thing. Okay? So sometimes I fold them back, sometimes I take them off. So to me, that's easier. Well, easier, maybe not easier, but I like the fact that everything is wide open now. I can see what I'm doing. So anyway, to each their own. So this is the method that I prefer. So, light output, 300% more, you know, because you don't have that shadow over it. So anyway, some stuff that we're going to take apart now is hoses, wires, wire harness. We've got to disconnect our fuel. We've got to get the intake out of here. Those are going to be the next things I'm going to do. Want to get the battery out of here. I'm going to clear everything up, because I kind of want to go through here and kind of tighten everything back up, because this is a big mess right now. So I want to do that. I'm not going to film all that. Like I said, reservoirs, hose, there's, you know, everything that's up here. Just chop, chop, chop. Let's get her off. As I said, this is going to happen. I just now realized we're left off. I'm doing some stuff up here. I left off at the air compressor when I had it raised up. Well, that's where I left off, because I told you all, I think, that we're going to take the plugs off, and I didn't do that yet. So without that, I can't pull my wired harness this way. So guess what? Exactly. So I'm going to turn the camera back on when I get all that done. All right. So this is lovely. I looked outside and I thought, oh shoot, it's going to rain. So, ta-da! I figured I better get this out. All right, so I got her out. Guaranteed good engine, all right? Key Auto Parts, Murray, Kentucky. Now, okay, there's a delivery date, sold to, and all that good stuff. Now, how smart do you really have to be when you yanking an engine out of a daggone vehicle? You're selling that engine. These things here are friggin' expensive. I'm talking expensive. The dipstick is broke, which is not a big deal. I care less. Reached in here, which is right here on the end. The turbocharger is locked straight up. So I don't know. They busted all this. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. So if you're from this area, I'm going to tell you straight up, don't do business with these people. That's ridiculous right there. I was in a hurry last night. There was no way for me to check that. Yeah, I couldn't have checked that. There's no way. It was getting dark when I got there. They loaded it. I had to get back home. It was pitch black outside, so I unloaded it. I got a tractor, so there's nothing been dropped here or nothing like that. She told me the other day that they busted the thermostat and all that good stuff. You know, also heated thermostat and all that good stuff. I didn't want to mess with none of that. That's my labor that I have to, you know. That's why we go to when you go to a yard, you get an assembly. I mean, come on. Now, I mean, $2,500 later, for a friggin' little motor, and this is what you get. You know, the damn thing leaks. I gotta go through it. It's got massive oil leaks. Come on now. You know, these people here, I'm not gonna do business with them ever again. That's the second time I got a part from them, and quite frankly, this is going to be it. There ain't gonna be no more. I figured I'm gonna throw that in there because I'm mad. Yeah, that's right. I am mad. I'm gonna admit it. I am pretty mad. That's horse crap. You know, like I said last night. By the time I got there right at 5 o'clock. They was gonna load me up, charge me $2,500 for the damn thing, and here we are today. I looked at it because, well, I wouldn't have even known it was cloudy outside a while ago, and it's not supposed to rain. I figured, well, I'm gonna get it in the shop. So here we are. I mean, I'm not gonna accept that. It's gonna go straight back. They can refund the money, and we're done doing business with them. That's ridiculous. I mean, you charge that kind of money for an engine? I'm sorry, it's got to be right. You know, that's not even a low mileage engine, so no, I don't think so. So bear with me on the next part. I thought we was going to be able to leave everything plugged in and pull the whole entire harness. I was wrong. That's what that is all about. A little chit chat that I have right there, so ignore that part. Remove all your plugs so we can pull the wire off to the side. Try to be too intrusive with this, so I'll try to get everything off of here good as we can. And anyway, largely, you know, this kind of stuff is largely due to the fact that they put people on that. These people, they probably don't want to do nothing in the first place. You know, and some of them may be disgruntled. You know, you don't never know. But yeah. That selling stuff like that, that's, to me, that's not cool. You know, you just gotta, well, when you're asking that much money for a motor, it should be right. Right there is the all the plugs are loose. It really don't take that long. Hose, we need to get off of it from the heater core there, the inside. Gotta get that off, obviously. I mean, it's kind of goes without saying, hoses and stuff like this gonna have to come off. These here had hose clamps on it already. I don't know what transpired with that engine, but anyway, that part was already done. So here is this. So far, this is what I got. This is where we're at right at the moment. Here's a knock sensor. Like I said, I've actually just unbolted it. It seemed to be easier at the time. We'll have to take this off, and we've got to get the fuel line off of it. Okay, so those two Deweys, we're going to have to get them off. What in the thunder? Safety, 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 safety. Okay, safety, safety. You know, it at some point in time, it really gets old having to repeat stuff. But if you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. There's fuel pressure on this line, or there could possibly be fuel pressure on this line. I'm not going to say anymore. I mean, done talking about it. You know, like I said, some things if you don't know them, just don't work on stuff. One back here comes off the brake booster. Tuck those hoses away. You kind of want to get that tucked away. I got the camera sitting right there in front of me. I pulled the battery out, by the way. Got a couple more left. A lot of the clips and stuff, they were gone. I didn't do it. Somebody else did that, actually, believe it or not. That coolant hose right there from the reservoir, you're gonna have to be careful with this Dewey. Now that friggin' thing is these things are really brittle. I guess is a good word for it would be brittle. I'm trying to hurry, guys. I'm trying to hurry. Just grab the hose like that. Might make it easier. Unclip that. Make sure everything gets tucked away. So we're gonna have now we've got temp sensor, a coolant temp sensor that is. All right, and we've got the computer undone. We've got all that undone. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna pause you up for a minute. There's a ground wire right here on the head. What is that? Yeah, it's that. That's what it is. E10, I think. I'm fairly certain it's E10. Ooh. These things here hooked on pretty good. So again, I believe that's an E10, and it is an E10. So that's got this part here undone, and actually, since I'm going to yank the whole assembly, I got to go a little bit further than that, but I'm going to pause the camera up. I'm going to yank these three 13mm headed bolts out of here, get the battery tray out, and so forth. Might want to leave this bolt here back on the head. That way you kind of know what goes where. You know, if you're able to do that, you might as well. Anyway, I'm gonna pause you up. Alright, so if you remember, we loosened some wires underneath. That is what's coming, what's running over the top of the transmission, right there. However, we still got these transmission lines clipped in and in the way. So we also undid one of the transmission lines already. We loosened the nut up, set it off to the side. There's the other one right here. So kind of keep all that in mind. So we'll have to loosen that up as well. So that's that one. The transmission cable, I'm sorry. I folded it out of the way, pushed the two clips together. You push them together, pull it out, pull it straight up. Odds are, if you're doing this to your vehicle, there's no bushing left in the cable. They bust out. It's standard for these vehicles. Friggin' junk. But anyway, like I said, that's pretty much standard for these things. So here's the other line. So that's loose. Now there is a connection to the computer, and also remember we have to get this loom off of here, 10 mil. Alright, so yeah, I forgot where I was at again. Brackets, loom, the loom. That's where I was at, the loom. We gotta get that undone. That's a 10mm bolt right there. We'll get that out of here. Now there is a transmission plug that's in there as well. So we must be getting it off. There's a clip back here. So That unclips all that. So like I said, this is the stuff that we undid, like the ground, the starter. So we've got these lines here loose. Everything is good to go. We've got to go with a 13 millimeter. Go down here, right down here. Don't tell me you didn't see that, because it's very easy to see. We gotta get the AC unbolted. The AC is already. I never did charge the AC out for obvious reasons. We gotta make sure that car runs before we do that. So this is actually rather easy to get to. You don't really have to strain the, well, really, truth to be known, everything on this vehicle is really easy to get to. I mean, it's not hard to work on. More a matter, you gotta be careful not to break stuff when it comes out. You gotta keep in mind, you know, the more stuff you're gonna break, the more it's gonna cost you to put all of it back together. Got another 13 millimeter nut up here on a fitting. Give me just a second and I'll show you that one. Wow, how long is this damn thing? Oh, I see why. The stud. That's not a stud. I thought it was a stud. It's an actual bolt. So anyway, 113 over here. Can you see me while I'm pointing? Yes, you can. I know the camera is down a little ways, but I see that you can still see me. Ouch! So we got to unbolt this one here. And what that does, that'll release the whole entire thing. As we shall see here in just a second. So now we can pull this. And actually, if you're careful, you can pull that out of the way like that. Now I'm going to tell you, sometimes these lines are going to be breaking because they're a little bit on the dry side. So if you want to leave it hanging, you can. It's just know that it's there when you're lifting it out. Now this assembly here can come out this way. It's not a problem at all. Transmission plug down there. We'll elevate this situation a little bit. And I am going to pause you up for just a second. You know I got the A-frame right behind me here, so let me get that hooked up. So we get all of that squared away. And I'm going to say this and say this again, and Lord knows they're not a sponsor, they never will be, because that's something that they don't do. But all this crap right here, well, I mean, I said crap, I meant that in a good way. The A-frame and all that good stuff, the chain hoist that I'm using here, that's a Harbor Freight item. And with the coupon and everything, man, that's that is amongst the best things that I've ever invested money in. I mean, the thing is it's simplistic. I mean, I use it all the time. All the time. It's just a great tool. You know, it works. I haven't had a minute's worth of problem with it. The cable cranks that are on it, they ain't worth the crap, but I don't move mine. It sits basically close to the same height as my lift to get the headroom. But anyway, I think I'll throw that in there. Well, I'm not going to lie to you, that's twice I've done it. Motor mount down there on that back side on the bottom. I had to lift the car back up. It's got to come off. Like I said, I've done this twice now. Done that same stupid stuff twice. The engine is hanging here at an angle. in particular, because it has to be that way to be able to get the transmission out of it. Now, granted, this is going to be a little bit more difficult to do with a shop crane. A shop crane is not going to be, it doesn't have the cross travel like I got. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to do it with that, but it can be done. You gotta just kind of watch what you're doing. Make sure that nothing gets hung up. Because unfortunately, these stupid things have got a ton of plastic. So, well, good here. Everything is loose. Nothing got broke. All of that is out in the open now. I can only tell you, I love me a chain fall. It's just so much nicer than having to contend with shop crane. Them things ain't worth the crap as far as I'm concerned. You got to do what you got to do. We've used them for years. You know, I'm not saying that we didn't, but anyway. The rest of the story. Now, everybody's going to want to know, well, you didn't show that part. All right. You're right, I did not. Here's the other beauty about this. Do what you want to do. Motor mount sits right here. All right. Well, transmission mount in this case, sorry. Transmission mount sits right there. You want to get it off, you're going to have a hard time getting it snuck out of there. You can, I don't know. I hooked the hook in this transmission bracket. That's what I did, the cable bracket. What I did last time, and then here, careful, so you don't bust the plastic housing. I just snuck it down in here. It's perfectly safe, nothing wrong with that. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's, in a nutshell, that's it, you know. This is obviously out now, so we can roll back, but, oh, yeah, ha, sorry, I forgot. All right, so up here, 1, 2, 3, 3 bolts. You got 3 more, and besides that, I'm gonna have to take this nut back out of it. We've got this mess right there. Let me show you. Let me show you. All right, we got these mess of bolts right there. So there's a nut over here, a bolt back there, bolt over here, and there's 3 bolts on here. And what you're taking off is that right there. Same on, oops, same on the other side. We got 1, 2, and 3, and then up here, 1, 2, and 3 as well. So that's that mess of bolts right there. So I'll leave them laying on the vehicle. That way I kind of keep some of that stuff separated, at least in my mind it is. And basically, let me get you back a little bit. So these things roll wicked awesome too. I mean, everything is steel construction on it. So, as you see, the A-frame rolls phenomenal. Well, it won't roll for you on gravel, I'm sure, but on concrete, it does good. So, here's our engine.